And here we go, everybody. Another edition of Jamal About Sports coming to you on a Friday, May 8th, I think, 2026. Big show to get to. We've got some Major League Baseball, but this is going to be mostly a basketball-centric show, and we begin with the Knicks and the Sixers. And back, by popular demand, my man Chuck G, what is up?
Happy Ocho de Mayo. I'll probably just drink some tequila and have some tacos for lunch, just for saying that alone. I'm wearing a two-colored brim right now. I can't say that I'm overly excited about Philadelphia sports after what's transpired over the past 4 or 5 days with the Sixers and the Flyers, but the Phillies are 8-2, so woo-hoo.
Yeah, they've righted the ship, and we'll get to baseball a little bit later on in the show. So I guess that's a Phillies maroon, and then obviously the Eagles on top. Is that what that hat's
Correct.
about? Yeah. No Sixers gear today, huh? You're not repping the Sixers.
I mean,
or drip, as the kids would like to say. No Sixers drip. Am I using that phrase correctly?
That's accurate. I don't have any Sixers drip on me right now. I think that the way they've played so far, and I don't think they blew the game 2 nights ago, but I think they really blew an opportunity. And, there's so much stuff on and off the court that has transpired, between, on Wednesday afternoon, I was on the Peloton, excited for game 2, didn't look at my phone, got off, feeling great, about to hop in a sauna and a cold plunge that I put in my basement a couple weeks ago. And I look at my phone and I had to reread it 3 times because I was like, is he doubtful? Oh, no. Joe's just out. And, it's as a Sixers fan over the past 7, 8 years, and in particular the last 3 to 4 when it comes to Joe's health, I just don't understand how I ever think there's hope. Let's just say if the Sixers win this series, improbable. We were improbable to beat the Celtics. I haven't spoken to you since that series. Wow. Talk about cloud 9 that Sunday. Very rarely do I get great texts after a Sixers game 7, which is why I think I got so many texts. People are like, holy shit, what just happened here? Yeah. If the Sixers were to be pull off the improbable and come back in the series, which I think is possible, improbable, but possible.
Well, the OG injury certainly opens up the
100%.
door.
100%. And, but we've got really 6 players that can actually play.
Yeah. No, it's not a deep bench. And you saw it in Wednesday night's game. I mean, Maxey, George, and Edgecombe were gassed within the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. They had no legs. I mean, those guys played 45 minutes plus.
Maxey
and especially Paul George, he's no spring chicken anymore. I mean, Edgecombe and Maxey are young, but Paul George's been around for a long time. He's had multiple leg injuries, over the course of his career. He started out like a house of fire. He was killing the Knicks early. They had no answers for him. He was banging threes from everywhere. He was playing great. But yeah, those guys just got gassed. Let me ask you a question, though. Overall,
yes,
a month ago, right? And maybe it was a little longer when you texted me when I think they were losing to Charlotte or somebody like that. If I would have told you a month ago, the Sixers are going to win the play-in, beat the Celtics in round 1 after being down 3-1 in the series, would you have signed up for that and taken that?
Yes.
If they don't, if that's as far as they go.
Sure. A month ago, I would have been, hey, I've got a little bit more basketball to watch and get my hopes up to get crushed. But
yeah,
I think I would have been, again, this is kind of sad, but I would have been happy that they just beat the Celtics.
Yeah, well, I think that's perfectly reasonable. But of course, once you do that, you want more, I understand. And there'll be time to reflect on the season.
I bet Sixers in 6.
Later.
What's that? The Sixers in 6. I was so excited. I was like, we've got the monkey off our back. Everything's going to be great. And the funny thing is, I know you and I have a steak dinner on the series.
Yes,
but I did ask one of my AI agents, can you come up with some fun bets? You wear a jersey to the other person's game, nothing that creative. I thought Claude was gonna blow my mind. The one thing that Claude did say was the only thing you cannot do is bet on game one. The Sixers will be tired after game seven, and the Knicks will be much better rested. And, you know, I will say that took the wind out of my sails a bit because I was like, yeah, that's really right. And you know, and as soon as that whooping started, I started watching the Flyers. Flyers down 3-0 and out of the Hurricanes. Nice season. Bye.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that game one was pretty predictable, given those
that's like game
circumstances.
two.
For sure.
You know, you're like, all right, we should have a little bit more rest now. We know what's going to happen. We know what we can't do against them. And Joe goes down. And then, you know, we put up 30 points a quarter. It was 90 through three. It was 9. We were up every quarter, and then we dropped 12 and
scored 2 points in the last like 5.5 minutes of the fourth quarter.
You know, in a game, how well the Knicks are shooting, that they only hit 7 3-pointers. You have to win that game. You have to take advantage of that game. I mean, listen, there were games against the Celtics where we actually pulled off that game, but tonight will be big. You know, the Sixers are 1.5 favorites. You know, one thing I would like to bring up, which is, again, some of the off-the-court stuff, but a big fuck you to Tiki Barber. That guy's such a joke.
Well,
I mean, listen, he's probably got paid very well over the years, and, I mean, you go to a Giants game, I'm sure there's still plenty of 21 Blues out there.
Yeah, well, he was a really good player.
Yes,
I mean,
but
I find him an unlikable figure also, and always have. I've always found him to be very smug and self-satisfied and very sort of ultra aware of his prior image, which was, you know, squeaky clean, good guy, went to UVA, my twin brother, we're both really good NFL players, blah, 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 blah. And then when he had that morning show, I think, did he have a segment on the Today Show or something like that?
All I know is that he pretty much left his pregnant wife or one of the showrunners on whatever network he was on.
Like assistant producer or something.
And listen,
yeah.
Who's hold on? What's the? At least he didn't have. What was the Mets guy? That got caught cheating with. He had a hot wife out in Connecticut, and he got caught cheating with his like assistant producer at ESPN back in the day.
No, that's you thinking of Brian Cashman?
No, it was a Mets guy, Steve.
Oh, a Mets assistant, like a front office guy or a player?
Front office guy, but he used to play too.
Oh,
I'll find it.
I don't know, because I know Cashman had a little.
You definitely know this one. What's his name? Cheating GM.
I don't remember. I mean, there was a Mets GM who like fell asleep in his car because he was driving home drunk, and he got picked up on the side of the road a few years back. There's Mickey Callaway sending lewd texts.
Steve Phillips.
Oh, Steve Phillips. Wow, we're going back a long time. Yeah.
Girl, I mean, listen, at least, and I shouldn't say this, this is very vain or shallow, but Tiki's, as far as I can remember, she was at least cute, and I don't know what his pregnant wife looked like. But Steve Phillips had a hot wife in Connecticut, and listen, the heart wants what the heart wants, but she was a troll.
Yeah. No. All right. We're veering down a road here that we don't want to go down.
Sorry.
No, but Tiki Barber, the reason why you gave him a big FU is because he came out and criticized Embiid, basically questioned his toughness, and said, because Embiid, look, as you said earlier, I mean, I think I just heard the other day, he's never played more than 60 games in a season, his whole career. I mean, he basically missed the first 2 years of his career, right, with injuries.
Not bad.
And he's obviously an extremely talented player. He's not, the injuries certainly, though, have taken a toll. He's not as agile as he used to be. And I think it's a bit of a conundrum for the Sixers because they're a better defensive team without him, right? I mean, that drop coverage that the Sixers tried to run in game one, I mean, the Knicks were killing them there. And that guy Barlow actually played pretty good for you guys in game two.
He actually, for a 6'8", 6'9" guy, can move, and he's a rookie. He's an undrafted rookie
I know.
I mean, those are some of the moves where you got to say like Daryl Morey, interesting, right? Like you put together.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like you put together a roster and you're that guy is. You put together. You can find some gems here and there.
absolutely.
Um,
That's what teams like OKC does so well.
yeah, but they do it so
Uh,
well with draft.
the Spurs. Yeah, but I mean, anyway, getting back to that. So, but then they missed him on offense in the fourth quarter of game two. I mean, they would have and I mean, he's going to draw fouls, whether you agree with it or not. It is what it is. And by the way, getting back to the Brunson Barlow matchup, that the Knicks thought they had him in a mismatch there. Brunson hit a couple of those shots. I didn't think those were good shots. And if they keep doing that, the Knicks, it's going to come back to bite them. I guarantee you. I hate when the Knicks do that ISO ball stuff and Brunson just tries to do hero ball. It doesn't work. I mean, we saw it in the first series against the Hawks, and they're much better when they're running the offense through Cat. I mean, it's. I mean, he stays involved. What's that?
He got into foul trouble, which is again, you take advantage of that considering you got him into foul trouble without Embiid in the game.
I know. They called 7 fouls on Cat and Hawk Porty in the first quarter of the game or first half of the game. Look, and I'll be the first to admit, I mean, Cat does this to himself. He's his own worst enemy, commits a lot of stupid fouls. I mean, that moving screen that he got called, I mean, that's obvious. You can't stick your hip out. I mean, come on, dude. How long have you been playing basketball for? I mean, you have to know that you can't do that, but he does it. And he gets handsy on defense, too. And it's just, it's so frustrating because, I mean, he almost had a triple-double in like 26 minutes in game two. But he's got to stay on the floor. So, and then the OG injury throws a whole monkey wrench into this thing. He's listed as questionable for tonight. I cannot, under any circumstances, see that he's going to play. I mean, it's a hamstring. It's bothered him before. Those are tricky.
Especially with the way the line moved. I mean, if the Sixers are now 1.5 favorites, they know something. Vegas knows something.
But Embiid is supposedly still questionable for tonight,
I'm saying, like, I think that Embiid is probably still questionable. I mean, you can't.
I'd be shocked if the Sixers don't win tonight. I mean, it's essentially a must-win. You can't go down 3-0. I would be shocked. I really would. I'm not sandbagging here. I would be surprised if the Sixers don't win tonight. I'm surprised the line is that low, honestly. I mean, it's basically a gimme. It's a toss-up. It's a pick-em, rather, not a gimme.
Game's at 7. My daughter has an 8 o'clock lacrosse game tonight. And this morning at the breakfast table, I was like, I got to find somebody.
Where?
It's in Yonkers.
Where?
And she's like, you don't have
Oh,
you
okay.
don't have to go. I was like, no, I'll be there. And in my head, I'm like, maybe I mean, you just said I don't have to go. I mean, she's got a game tomorrow. I was at her game yesterday. I could skip one. It's ridiculous that they schedule these things at 8 o'clock at night on a Friday. Like, I don't have other things I need to do. And then,
I'm with you.
and then, if the Sixers do win tonight, Game 4, a very pivotal Game 4, is on Mother's Day.
Yeah, Sunday afternoon,
I
3:30.
can't say that Letitia is like clearing out the schedule for Game 4, and
Probably not.
that one is actually
good?
more important than 3rd, 4th grade girls lacrosse in Yonkers. That one,
I think so.
Just roll with the punches.
I'm as a single man with no
I love
kids.
you, hon.
I can't
I'm just
really.
eating my lunch with her, just looking at my phone, watching the game.
Yeah. No, I can relate going back to my days as a kid when the Mets were playing the Pirates on a Sunday and Dwight Gooden was pitching, and we had to leave to go to take my mother out for brunch for Mother's Day, and I was none too pleased.
Yeah.
So I understand.
I do think.
But yeah.
I think the Sixers will win tonight. I think they'll make it a series. I mean,
I think so. I mean, for the Knicks to be able to withstand the loss of OG, they're going to need McBride. You're not going to obviously replace him with one guy. No. It's going to have to be a cumulative effort from McBride, Shamet, and Clarkson, and maybe even Mo Diawara might get some tick too. He's not going to get a lot, but maybe you run him out there. He's got long arms. He can defend. You have him eat up some fouls. But from the scoring perspective, you're going to need Deuce, Shamet, and Clarkson are all going to have to give the Knicks you know, somehow add up to 22 points. I mean, OG Anunoby has been the best player on the Knicks in the playoffs. It's not even close. I mean, Brunson has had some great games. He's also had some not some great games.
Bridges is coming on at the right time.
He is, and he's going to have to continue, obviously, to play really well. And, I mean, look, Maxey is obviously a hell of a player. He's a blur with the ball in his hands. He's a tough cover. Bridges has done a pretty good job on him, at least making life difficult on him.
Well, let's say,
it's
listening to sports talk radio all day yesterday, there is a big question like, nobody wants to blame Tyrese Maxey. Like, when people and the whole conversation in Philadelphia around the team in general is get rid of Embiid, build around Maxey and Edgecombe. And I will say, Edgecombe as a rookie playing amazingly. Even
good player. You got a lot to like there. Yeah.
But with Maxey, and again, it's one game, but he had and he played 47 minutes and he's exhausted. But I will say that I was not impressed because some of the looks he had in that fourth quarter were wide open threes that he normally like aces.
Yeah. Especially against the Knicks. I mean, he always
really
played well
what kind
against
of
the Knicks. And the turnovers hurt too. I mean, he had 6 turnovers in that game, 10 in both into 2. Yeah, that hurt. I mean, I'll give Mike Brown a lot of credit. I mean, this, and it probably speaks to a larger issue, which is we all know the NBA regular season's too damn long. These teams that are good, they don't give a rat's ass about, probably 15 of the games that they play. They're just not going to get up for them. It's just impossible. And so, I mean, the Knicks look like a completely different team so far in the playoffs than what they resembled in the regular season. I mean, and part of that, I think, is Mike Brown made some adjustments. They're running the offense more through Cat at that high post, which frees up Brunson, too, as well. He doesn't have to be, on the ball as much. And it keeps Cat engaged, which helps. And then also on defense, like he did a smart thing Mike Brown did in the first series against Atlanta, which was he put Brunson on Dyson Daniels, who's not really much of a threat to score. And then he started scoring, but that's fine. Like let the fourth best player on the Hawks be their leading scorer. You're going to win those games every time. So they're trying to hide him on Oubre. Oubre played well, actually, in game 2 also.
He finally came on a little bit with that.
My big thing about this whole series going into it was Maxey and Embiid, obviously if Embiid plays, are going to get theirs, right? They just are. You got to make it life hard on them as much as you can, but they are going to. What you can't have is Paul George and Oubre having really good games. You got to kind of try to limit those guys. Now, I didn't think Paul George had this much left in the tank, honestly. I did not expect him to play this well. But that 25-game suspension may have been a blessing in disguise because maybe he's a little fresher.
I'll tell you what I heard this because they've been very vague about what it was. Have we talked about that?
Right.
Have we talked about what it is?
We thought maybe it was ketamine.
Yes. I think you and I talked about
that. Yeah, which by the way, psychiatrists prescribe to their patients all the time, and it's microdosed. And
no, there's no shame in it at all. But I think that's where. As a banned substance by the NBA still, or maybe not regular. Surprising, yes. But I also think if it was something more, let's just say, if it was something crazier, because he didn't come out and say what it was, but he did talk about his mental health when he came out of the suspension.
Right.
And, a lot of people in Philadelphia wanted him to come out and just say, like, hey, I really messed up, like, I shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
Which, I think that he probably would have done it if it was something terrible, or let's say a coke.
It wasn't ecstasy. It wasn't Molly. Yeah.
But that tracked really well for me when my friend told me that last week because I was like, what was he even on? And but it's interesting that you give him that 25 games off. You give him off pretty much all last season to some extent. Your legs have got to have some rejuvenation to him. I'm surprised that he hasn't. Like all of our other, American athletes that have to go to foreign countries to get shots in their joints.
Yeah, platelet
I think it's wild that it's a country that is so proud of our athletes and our sports leagues and everything that our Philadelphia Eagles have to go to Colombia to get shots in their knees. It's like,
Well,
why collect? I mean, maybe it's a vacation,
yeah.
but
Well, I mean, I think the larger issue is, the state of the healthcare in this country is not
no.
great. Um, but yeah, I would be shocked if the Knicks win tonight. If they are somehow able to pull off a win tonight and OG doesn't play, then I would say you don't play him in game 4 either.
No.
I mean, you're playing with House's money, and you give him as much time as is humanly possible. Because again, I mean, he's their best defender. He can guard multiple positions, and he's played on offense lights out. He's like 60% from 2, 50% from 3. He's making his foul shots. Like he's been just incredible in this series. I mean, as I said, he's been the best player on the floor for, certainly in the Hawks series, and he was in games 1 and 2 for the Knicks against the Sixers also.
Yeah.
So, if he's out for any extended period of time, I mean, if the Knicks, and I'm not, unfortunately, a lot of dopes in New York media are pretty much basically saying the Knicks are going to move past the Sixers here. It's far from over. You just saw that the Sixers just came back from 3-1 against a good Boston Celtics team.
A lot of people would say it's better than the Knicks, and stats would suggest it's better than the Knicks, but
Yeah, I mean the Knicks, and again, we can't take much from the regular season anymore, but the Knicks played the Celtics well in the regular season, but whatever. And I think the Knicks were kind of built to. I mean, Bridges and OG were brought in to kind of handle or help to try to slow down Brown and Tatum. So, a lot of people thought that would be a better matchup for them than the Sixers, because where the Knicks do struggle is with small, fast guards like Maxey and guys like Edgecombe. But yeah, the lack of bench for the Sixers is a major issue for them for sure. I mean,
unless Quentin Grimes, former Knick.
I've always been a fan, but Tuesday night was a perfect example. He did some good things, and then he did some not so good
I did like at
things.
the end of the game though, when they were down by 5, 30 seconds left, but Paul George took such a bad 3. Like he could have moved
Not
a
a
little
good
bit.
shot.
I mean,
Yeah.
and Q got in his face.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like,
Yeah, that was a bad shot. That was terrible. I think maybe he lost track of the clock or something. That was weird.
it wasn't.
That was
like
weird. I mean, the Sixers couldn't make a shot at all in the last 5
yeah, but
minutes.
then
It
they
was
take like,
crazy.
hey, we're gonna break the seal here by taking a terribly off balance one-legged shot. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's not,
Yeah.
that's not.
No, I know.
That's like if there's like 2 seconds left and you're down by 3.
Right. Yeah. It was a desperation shot that they didn't need to take in that situation.
Moving on.
So
more
yeah,
movement.
my prediction. What's that?
I
I'm
was just
sorry.
saying, moving on to one more. Go to your prediction, and then I've got one more
No,
off the court element.
It's sort of contingent upon OG's health, right? So if OG is going to make it back for this series, let's say he comes back in game 4, I would have to take the Knicks in 6. If he's going to miss the whole series, it also depends if Embiid's not going to play. I mean, there's so many variables.
A lot of variables, and I think that these.
I expect the Knicks to get through this series in either 6 or 7 games. That would be. It might be a slog, and these games are going to be close. I mean, the other night's a perfect example, and more likely than not, if it's a close game in the fourth quarter, the Sixers will make some of those shots that they missed the other night.
I think I heard that there were 21 or 25 lead changes in that game, which was the most since 1994 or something in a playoff game.
Yeah.
Which is,
Yeah.
again, as an outside fan, you're like, oh, I'm watching a good basketball game. That's great. And as a Sixers Knicks
I know.
fan,
It's so
a
stressful.
real Sixers or Knicks fan, you're sitting there. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, it's stressful. I mean, and when the Knicks got a 6-point lead, it felt larger, right? And in the NBA, that's nothing these days. Obviously, guys, bang threes from 30 feet, no problem
It definitely
anymore.
felt like the tides had turned, and as soon as Maxey starts missing wide open threes,
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, this is not it. I had, my kids were still up at night, and I actually gave them like all right, walk up the stairs and go to your car. Like, it's like walk up the stairs and go to bed. This game's over.
Yeah.
But when I said real, or if you were a real Knicks or Sixers fan, how grueling that emotionally can be. Off the court, I will say, the scene that goes on outside of Madison Square Garden.
I'm glad you brought this up.
If Philadelphia fans did that, it would probably Trump could send martial law into like, you got to stop these people. They're horrible. Like, it is absurd that many goons, not even real fans, can get to one area. I mean, at least unlike a lot of things, there's no like anti-Knicks protesters that are also there.
Right. Right.
I mean, if that's one thing that people like are scared of. Keith Cannon, when this whole series was going down, was like, oh, looking at tickets. And in my head, I was like, I don't know if I would want to go. I wouldn't wear anything Sixers.
They knocked down J.R. Smith, who's a beloved former Knick. And then nobody was helping him up. He's like, come on, bro, help me up.
I think it's
ridiculous. By the way, I'm with you. I can't stand it. And, all they do is they keep showing them on TV, the Knicks watch party, because everything has to have a watch party associated with it now. So they've got all these knuckleheads outside in the alley on 33rd Street outside the Garden. Then they go insane after the game if the Knicks win. I mean, the thing. By the way, Howard Stern did a funny bit on this like last year in Philly, also in New York, like just these insane fans screaming the most vile, disgusting things, like "I'm gonna f you," it's nuts. It's nuts, and they get encouraged by the coverage. See, that's the problem. Is that they get this bad behavior gets encouraged. So I can't stand any of that. It drives me nuts, and I wish it would stop, but it's not going to.
I'm going to throw a hot take out there. I think that Knicks fans right now are the worst fans in any sport in America. You guys,
by the way,
I'm 44 years old. They haven't even won a championship.
I know.
In my lifetime.
I'm 57. I was 4 the last time the Knicks won a championship.
Exactly. Then who are these clowns? It's not like
I didn't even know what basketball was when I was 4 years old. I mean, give me a break.
That's what I just find to be.
Yeah, they made the finals twice in my life, in my adult life. They made it in '94 and blew it to the Rockets. They made it in 2000 and by dumb luck, really, and lost to a much better Spurs team. And that Ewing was hurt, so they had no chance in that series anyway.
That series reminds me of. Oh no, was it 2000? No, 2000.
Yeah, or it was either 99 or 2000.
I think it was on.
It was 99. Yeah, you're right. It was 99. It was the strike year. The Knicks were an 8 seed. They blasted the Hawks, who were the 1 seed in the first round that year. That was when they had Camby and Spree.
Allen.
Yeah. Yep. They played a much faster tempo without Ewing and without Oakley.
I really like that team. You know what? I was a Knicks fan that playoff series because my dad and I were going on college trips. And
okay.
My dad from New London, Connecticut, he was just a fair weather fan to wherever we moved. Like, he was a Villanova fan when I was living in Philadelphia, and he moved up to Syracuse, and all of a sudden started rooting for Syracuse more than Villanova. I was like, what are you doing? Have some room.
Wow. And then Big East rivals. Yeah, that's like flipping from the Eagles to the Cowboys.
The only good thing about Syracuse going to the ACC was I could actually be like, all right, a school I went to I can actually root for.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's wild that.
Yeah, Knicks fans are pretty tough to take. I'll be the first to admit it, Chuck. We didn't talk about this. The whole trying to make C.J. McCollum, who is one of the more benign figures in the NBA, into a villain, and in doing so, pumping him up, and he went bananas in the first few games. The dude went to Lehigh. Like, he's not some villainous figure.
Finest, by far and away.
What's
It's a
that?
definitely Lehigh's finest, by the way.
Yeah. And he kind of looks like Urkel.
He
I mean,
is. I mean,
he's not exactly.
that's a guy that you never have heard anything bad about ever.
Never, never. He's had a hell of a career. He was in the, he was on those Portland teams when it was him and
Yep.
Dame, and they would win 50 games every year, and then they could never get over the hump, right? They'd both average about 20, 25 a game. They didn't have a lot of help around them. And again, they'd win their 50 games a year, and they'd maybe win one round in the playoffs, and then they'd get bounced because they didn't have enough else.
Side note on the Blazers, highly recommend the not Netflix documentary, The Jailblazers.
Okay.
It's,
Oh,
yeah,
remember
yeah,
those teams. All right, I'm going to watch
pretty
that.
good. There's a fun
Give me some of the names from that. Do you know?
David Stoudemire. I mean,
Right.
the Rasheed Wallace,
Oh, right.
Bonzi
She,
Wells.
yeah.
Bonzi Wells.
Bonzi
Bonzi Wells
Wells.
got
Yeah.
recruited to be one of the bad guys.
Yeah. Who was, wasn't there some dude that went to Cincinnati that played for Huggy Bear there that was on that team also who was like not a good dude?
Yes. I'm blanking on his name. Well, here's like one of the funnier things was, so the Portland Trailblazers played the Sonics, and it's like a 2-hour drive between cities.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Sure.
Damon Stoudemire's from Portland. And he's riding home with one of his buddies and on the bus. And Sheed's like, yeah, I'll ride with you guys. And yes, they're definitely going to smoke a blunt. Definitely not a And so they're smoking. And
Yeah.
the guy that's driving, this at least Damon Stoudemire was smart enough to have one of his boys drive. But his buddy's a fast driver. And, they've smoked the whole blunt. And they're getting closer to Portland. And like the way Rasheed tells it, he's like, Damon even told his buddy, you got to slow down. Sure enough, they get pulled over in a yellow Hummer, like a taxi cab yellow Hummer.
Yeah. Sticking out like a sore thumb.
Cops are like, where's the weed? They're like, we smoked it all. And they're out of the car. Sure enough, what drives by them but the team bus? And Bob Wells tells the story. He's like, and then we were looking out the window like, oh, is that David's? Oh, that's his. It was just him and Sheed on the side of the road. It's a really good watch. There's a bunch of other funny stories. Like,
Who was Rick Adelman? Rick Adelman was the coach of those teams, right? For Portland, I
I don't
think.
think so.
No?
But they also signed Sean Kemp, who had to stop mid-season because he developed a coke problem. How you develop a coke problem in Portland, Oregon, is interesting. I don't know.
Oh, he played. He left Seattle and played for
Scottie
Portland.
Pippen was the big name on that.
Right, that was their big get. Right, because prior to that they had the team of Jerome Kersey, Clyde Drexler, Terry Porter, Kevin Duckworth, and Buck Williams. Back in the day, when they were really good and they made the finals and lost to the Bulls. Yeah, yeah.
But then,
And that was Rick Adelman. He was the coach of those teams.
who was the coach of? I mean, it's on there. I mean, it's a good watch.
All right, I'll watch it. That sounds good. That's a good good recommendation.
Because
There.
eventually he
I
just
like it.
started signing, again, Sean Kemp, like a reclamation project.
Yeah.
The Rain Man used to be known for just put back dunks and just horrible. And
Yeah. That was a shame. That guy was a force of nature when he was early in his career. With those Sonics teams were fun too, with him and Detlef Schrempf and Dale, aka Jail Ellis.
And then wasn't Big Smooth on that team too? Kendrick Perkins on that team? No, not Kendrick Perkins. Sam Perkins.
Sam Perkins, yes, always looked like he just smoked the
Wasn't it
blunt.
Sleepy Sam?
Always looked like he was high. Yes, he was on those Sonics teams as well.
Perkins,
Yeah. Good call.
Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah. The rest of the playoffs. So, I mean, this Lakers OKC series is not going to be much of a series. The Lakers stink. They're lucky that I don't even know how that's a terrible job by the Rockets, by the way, losing the Lakers without Luka. I mean, come on.
I mean,
What
they
are you
didn't
doing?
have KD, but I agree.
I
think
know.
That team's kind of a clown show. I mean, in Sengun, I saw a players poll, and they players poll. Everybody thinks he's the most overrated player in the NBA.
Who, Sengun?
And that's according to the players. And the one thing I will say after the game last night, though, about the Lakers, and I didn't even watch it, but the one thing I did when I went on and was looking at some sports this morning, there was a video about how the Lakers players like huddled around the referees because they were so upset that of the poor officiating. And Redick after the game said like they don't call any fouls on them, blah blah blah. Like Bron's not getting star treatment.
It's kind of
Yeah,
true.
but if it was not the Lakers again, and this is just not to throw it back to the Sixers, but like if the Sixers had huddled around a bunch of officials, like
Right.
without a LeBron James and like Joel Embiid was their Superman in that situation, they'd all be ejected. There'd be fines. There'd be everything. But it's like, oh no, we got LeBron. We got Dookie, JJ Redick, who I did like.
Yeah,
I
I
did
know.
like when he was a Sixer. Oh, it's gotten dark in here.
No, I hear you. I mean, look, the officiating had nothing to do with it. The Lakers are not very good. Austin Reeves had 30 points, and he was a minus 20. I mean, OKC is just way better. So that series will be, I think, and maybe the Lakers get a game. I'd be surprised if they even did that. I think the Spurs, I was shocked they lost game 1 to Minnesota. And then the Spurs came back in game 2 and blew them out. I'd be shocked if the Spurs don't win that series as well. I mean, first of all, Minnesota's,
They barely have
banged up.
And Dante DiVincenzo getting tearing his Achilles. It's
Yeah,
kind of
I felt bad for him.
terrible. And
Yeah, it stinks.
and Edwards is kind of hobbled a bit.
Yeah, and Io DeSumo, who I pointed out on a podcast I did by myself at the trade deadline, I said that was a sneaky good pickup by Minnesota. And I mean, he had a monster series against Denver when Ant-Man was out, and obviously DiVincenzo out. And then he got hurt, and now he's back, but he didn't look very good the other night. But I mean, I've been on the Spurs all season. I mean, that team, I understand that they're young. I don't care. They are so deep.
Yeah.
Wemby is obviously such a force in nature. And he plays with his hair on fire. I mean, he's a low, soft-spoken, low-key guy, kind of off the court, but on the court, man, that dude, he gets after it for a big, gangly 7'5" guy.
Here's the thing I feel like Wembayama, like, it's almost as similar to SGA. Like, his game is much crazier because he's 7'6".
Mm-hmm.
Versus SGA, who's just like boring mid-range jumper, foul, mid-range
Yeah.
jumper. Like, his game is not that entertaining at all to me. And listen, I think he's an amazing basketball player. I think he wins games. I think he's got his own character and fashion sense off the court, which I respect. I just don't find his game very entertaining.
Sure. Well, and he's Mr. Hunting fouls, too. I mean, people talk about Brunson doing it. People talk about Embiid doing it. SGA is the biggest offender of them all. Yes.
I mean, he's like an old James Harden.
Yes.
But I think Wemby's height, in some ways, will restrict the fandom surrounding him, because watching somebody dunk a ball just standing up like this is a little tough to be wowed by. It's like you kind of have a very big advantage over everybody.
He
It's like
does.
Wilt, it's almost like when Wilt dropped 100. Like,
Right.
And Wemby.
And the next tallest guy was like 6'8". Yeah.
It's like Wemby's never gonna drop 100.
No, but he can shoot threes,
No, again,
and his
game was
defense
very
is
impressive. I think like where the fandom and where people will be impressed by him, like he's never going to be an Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson was a 6'1" guard, who made the improbable probable because he was so small going up against 7 foot tall individuals.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's everybody, in general, most people like the quote unquote underdog. Not that AI was an underdog, but he, like, you're right, though. I mean, the common fan can relate more to an Allen Iverson who's 6 feet tall doing what he's doing amongst the trees more so than a 7'5" athletic freak like Wembayama, and he is. By the way, speaking of Allen Iverson, you know what yesterday was?
Was it he got all of his money from Reebok?
No, it was the whatever year, 24-year anniversary of the. We talking about practice, man.
Really? Yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
I
Yeah.
guess it must have been.
Yeah, I was watching one of those dopey ESPN morning shows, Get Up or something like that, and they brought it up.
I
Yeah.
guess it must have been a playoff press conference then.
Yeah. Yeah, I always thought it was regular season. I didn't realize it was in the playoffs.
I thought you were going to say the is the anniversary because when Iverson first signed his Reebok deal, his manager was like, "You can't give him all this money at once," and gradually staggered it out. Where I think after 30 years, that it wouldn't be yet, he gets paid. He has like a lump sum of money that he's still not been paid by Reebok that has been in escrow.
Oh,
And his
wow.
manager's like, "No, you're not taking this money right now, and
Wow.
you're gonna thank me for this later. You're gonna make plenty of other money you can fuck away, but
Yeah.
we're gonna save some of this money for a rainy day or whatever."
Well, now he's doing commercials for one of those betting apps with that dude that was on Detroiters and on Veep. Michael Wilbon, you know who he is, of course. He had a funny story yesterday. So apparently, in the early days, AI needed some prodding to show up on time.
Oh,
So
shocking.
so as when Larry Brown was coaching the Sixers, so he enlisted the help of Big John Thompson, Allen Iverson's college coach at Georgetown, and John Thompson got on the Amtrak from D.C. to Philly to go get in Allen Iverson's face and say, "Listen, kiddo, get your ass to practice on time and get your act together," which I guess it worked at times. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting.
Another great, like 30 for 30, which was actually one of the first 30 for 30s, was called No Crossover. I think it was called No Crossover or The Crossover, but it was the Allen Iverson, Bethel High School bowling alley.
Yeah, I remember that.
Big John-
That was a huge
Big
story.
John got him out. And got
Yeah,
him to Georgetown.
you sure did. Yeah, and took some criticism for it. I mean, Allen Iverson was a stud high school football player as
Mr.
well.
Football, Virginia.
Absolute stud, yes. He was Mr. Football in Virginia,
Yep.
right? I believe.
That's
Yeah,
right.
which is no small feat. I mean, a lot of good players come out of Virginia. He played quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, in high school,
The
but obviously at
documentary-
that size.
The documentary has a lot of
Yeah.
like clips from his high school football days that would wow you just as much as like some of his basketball stuff.
It'd be interesting, right? Like in the more modern era where, in those days, mobile quarterbacks weren't really a thing. I mean, you could be in college, certainly not in the pros, though. It was sort of frowned upon. And not every team ran these spread offenses like they do in college now, or pretty much everyone runs some variation of the run and shoot. It would have been interesting to see him play in a different era if he might have been a two-sport star in college as well. I mean, going to Georgetown, they don't have much of a football team, but if he went to a D1 program for both football and basketball, had he played both, it would have been that could have been a good what if. What do you think about this Detroit-Cleveland series? I see Detroit's up 2-0.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I'd like to see Detroit win it.
Okay.
Only because I think Detroit would have a better chance of beating the Knicks if the Knicks win the series.
Oh, for sure.
I think that
for sure.
I mean,
The Knicks aren't afraid of Cleveland at all. The Detroit gives them a lot of problems.
and that's where it's like Cleveland. I mean, James Harden put up another James Harden game.
Another terrible playoff game, 3 for 13, total no-show. That's what I find him to be one of the more unlikable figures in basketball in the last. How long has he been in the league now? 15 years.
Yeah.
I mean, he's quit on 5 different teams. He's perpetually unhappy. I hate the way he plays. I mean, I hate his style of play. The way he, creates all the contact, gets all these foul calls. His taking 3 steps to step behind the 3-point line and shoot a 3-pointer. Somehow that's not a travel. Like I can't stand I hate everything about him. I really do. I can't stand him.
I don't like him when he was on the Sixers, I really liked him. And then that one summer when he went to China, I was like, I will never play for Daryl Morey again. Daryl Morey's a liar.
Which was weird. After Daryl Morey saved your ass and got you to the Sixers, like what is these guys? KD is another one. Mr. Sourpuss complaining all the time. Look at Jaylen Brown. What are you doing, dude? Yeah. This is you're most proud of this season. You just won a championship 2 years ago, and now you're saying that this is the most fun you ever had after you blew a 3-1 lead to the Sixers.
And it's kind of a dig at Tatum too. It's like, no, my favorite season was not playing with Tatum. And
Yeah.
there's always been conversation about how those two don't necessarily love each other. I mean, and then watch what happens. You get AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. Oh, they're falling apart. They're falling apart until the point where it's like when Brown
Right.
starts with that. It's
Yeah.
like
Well, and Brad Stevens, who runs the Celtics, he's shown he is not unafraid to make a big move. So I wouldn't be shocked if one of those two guys goes. I would think it would be Jalen Brown, not Tatum. Tatum is a more beloved figure, I think, amongst the fan base there than Jalen Brown is. And Jalen Brown, by the way, also another whiner, complaining about the refs. I don't know if you saw that. He got fined.
I mean, he complained about Joel Embiid flopping. Meanwhile, he flopped in that game 7.
First of all, as far as I'm concerned, as you know, a lifelong Celtics hater, nobody on the Celtics has the right to complain about officiating ever.
No.
I mean, that as great as Larry Bird was, and he was fantastic, no doubt. That dude got every single call known to man when he played. The Celtics team as a whole got a million calls, and have continued to do so, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, remember that one year when not the original Isaiah Thomas, but the second Isaiah Thomas, a little lefty guy, had that good year for the Celtics. Most of that was because he would dribble into the lane, wait for the guy to come, and then he would back up into him and then throw up a shot, and he was getting to the line like 10, 12 times a game. And meanwhile, he's a former second-round pick, kind of a bust from Sacramento, and then he shows up on, and I'm not saying this can't happen. We've seen examples of it happen where guys don't do well. What's that?
Washington.
Yeah. University of Washington. Yep. Anyway, so yeah, for anybody on the Celtics to complain about the officiating, to me, is laughable. I mean, you've been getting the benefit of the doubt from the officials for 40 years. So knock it off. Stop it.
I mean,
Nonsense.
one would even argue, like, is this Jalen Brown saying trade me? I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to be.
Well, and then he came out and said, well, no, I love it here. And if it were up to me, I'd like to be here for the next 10 years, which is sort of a weird, cryptic statement.
If it were up to me.
Right. If it were,
I also saw something like, and I didn't even read the article, but I saw a headline, like a notification, like, here's an idea for Giannis to the Celtics.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that it has some sort of Jalen Brown plus element to it.
For sure. Well, Giannis is going to be mentioned. I mean, look, if the Knicks don't get past the Sixers, then, I mean, let the talk begin. Cat for Giannis, whomever, Bridges, whatever. We'll see. But, as good as Giannis is, he's 31, a lot of tread on the tires, he's been hurt the last couple of years. I would stay away from him.
I would not go into it with, I'd go into it with a better approach than, let's say, Paul George.
Yep.
But do I think like much more? No.
Yeah, I'm not gutting my team to bring in Giannis to be the final piece of the puzzle. There's no way.
If the Sixers could trade Paul George and all of our available first-round picks for Giannis, sure, go for it. And then we're going to be stuck in the same fucking shitty problem of zero depth.
Right. Right. Yeah.
But I mean,
and the salary cap, this with these aprons and stuff, makes it difficult. Yeah, you got to hit on guys like Barlow. The Knicks have done it with Deuce McBride, like these second-round picks or even undrafted free agents that you develop over the course of a couple of years, and then at least they become valuable bench players. I mean, that's or you sign these veteran minimum guys and hope that they still got something left in the tank, like Jordan Clarkson, who's had a very strange season for the Knicks. You know him. I mean, he's always been known as a scorer. He was a Sixth Man of the Year a few years back,
Jazz, right?
But he's actually like, what's that?
The Jazz for years.
He did, yeah, among others. But yeah, mostly the Jazz. But he's actually become like kind of a guy that's like expending a lot of energy on playing defense, and he was in the rotation to start the year, didn't play very well, then was out of the rotation, then kind of got back in, then was out again, and then got back in late in the season because he picked up his defense. So anyway,
has very expensive taste, and if he needs to play defense to keep making tens of millions of dollars to keep up his very expensive tastes, like, I'll play defense.
Yeah, sure. All right, we've got about 10 minutes left. Let's move over to baseball. So,
Rockies are
very
2
weird
in their last 10.
Yeah.
We're back. I mean, sure. Donnie Baseball.
So the weird thing is, right now in the American League, there are, I think, only 4 teams over 500.
That is correct.
Right?
And 2 of those teams are only 1 game above 500.
Yeah. You got the Yankees, who are on a roll at 26-12. Tampa Bay, which I didn't even, they've won 7 in a row, so they're 25-12. Baltimore under 500, 4 games. Toronto 5 games under. Red Sox 6 games under. Already fired Alex Cora, which was insane. The Guardians are 1 game over, leading the AL Central. And then the Tigers are 2 under. White Sox 3 under. Royals 4. Twins 6. That division stinks.
Yeah.
The West, the A's are leading at 1 game over 500, as you mentioned. And then the Mariners, Rangers, Astros, and Angels are all under. Mariners are only 2 under. The Rangers are 3. Astros having a hideous year at 15-23. And the Angels, who perpetually stink, are 15-23. And then, yeah, the National League, you have the Braves, who are rolling along at 26-12. The Nationals are in second place in the NL East at 18-20. Your Phillies are 17-21, but they're back from the depths of despair. They've gone 8-2 in the last 10 games, despite losing last night, 12-1. The Marlins are 17-21, and then my Mets are 14-23, and a complete and utter embarrassment. You're a bit of a movie guy, right? Do you remember? And it's a little before your time, but there was this big movie in the 80s called Heaven's Gate.
I remember hearing of it.
If the Mets were a movie, that's who they'd be. They would be Heaven's Gate. It was a huge flop. What's that?
Was it like a cult to it or something?
No, it had a ton of stars, and it cost a shit ton of money to make, and it was a massive flop. It was a critical bomb. Nobody liked it. That's basically the Mets. That's who the Mets are. They're the head.
It's like Waterworld.
Yeah, exactly. A more recent analogy for sure. And then you've got the Cubs. Well, actually, everybody in the NL Central is over 500, which is weird. And then in the
West,
here.
Los Dodgers.
Yeah, Dodgers, the Padres are over 500, and then everybody else in the NL West is under 500. So yeah, sort of a strange start to the year for Major League Baseball.
I mean, it's the same thing you said with basketball. You got to shorten the season.
Yeah, 162 games is insane.
I had to say to my kids, I was like, girls, what do you think, for reference, they're 9 and 11, who do you think the highest paid athletes are? And they said football players. I said, why? They said, because you get hurt a lot more and you get hit a lot more. I was like, actually, no, that's not the case, though. I was like, it's baseball. Yeah. They're like, baseball? Like, but they play so much. I was like, that's exactly why. Like, it's not. Mm-hmm. They play 162 games, and it was just funny that they couldn't fathom how baseball players were making more money. They're like, but they don't even like touch each other. I was like,
right? Yeah,
all true.
Yeah. Well, we talked earlier about the NBA and how regular season and postseason are 2 entirely different things. It's even more pronounced than baseball. Oh. Right, the Major League Baseball postseason has nothing. It's actually a bad model. I mean, you go 162 games, you play all of these games, and then you get into the postseason, and it's a total crapshoot. I mean, yeah, I understand the Dodgers won. They barely won, by the way. I mean, we saw what happened in the World Series against Toronto last year. Not for Kane or Falafel, whatever his name is, getting a horrible jump off of third base. The Blue Jays win the World Series. Pages making a great catch in left center field. I mean, the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, baseball postseason and regular season have nothing to do with each other. I mean, they're completely 2 separate things. Mm-hmm. It's very strange. Now, as far as the Mets are concerned,
how much? Like, when do you say the season is? Would you say the season is in critical condition right now?
Yes.
Okay, you're already there.
Yes. Yes, and they had the gall yesterday. So they had a chance to sweep the Rockies. They're playing in Colorado, right? As we all know, a hitter's paradise. Yes. They treated it as like a a house money game. Now, this is a team that is 8 games under 500 and has sucked all year long, right? And Mendoza had a lineup that included the likes of Vidal, Sassoon, Brujan, whoever that might be, at shortstop. Austin A.C. Slater, that's a little Saved by the Bell reference for you guys out there, starting in the outfield. Some guy named Andy Ibanez. I remember Raul Ibanez was a good player. Never heard of Andy Ibanez. So those 3 guys were starters. By the way, this is a team that has a $340 million payroll, and those were 3 of your starters yesterday. And I'm sorry, you guys don't have the luxury of Carlos Mendoza of resting guys and treating this game as if it's house money. I mean, no, not after this. You're not the Yankees. You're not 14 games over 500. You needed that game. And they take the starting pitcher out. They don't even let him finish 5 innings, even though he'd only given up 1 run and struck out 6 guys. And then Mendoza comes out after the game and says, well, yeah, I didn't put in our better relievers late in the game because they weren't available. Well, even more so of a reason to push your starter longer. You don't take him out after 4 2/3 innings. I mean, they just do everything wrong. They do everything wrong. I can't stand their decision-making process. They're batting Juan Soto leadoff. Analytics has ruined the sport as far as I'm concerned. I mean...
That hasn't ruined it, but
so,
it's made it just... Baseball's always been such a manager's gut and...
Yeah. I mean, look, we all understand matchups, lefty versus righty, whatever. A guy hits 180 against lefties, he hits 300 against righties. You want a lefty pitcher to face him. We all get that. We all understand that. But analytics is now the pendulum has swung too far in the opposite direction. I mean, this idea now that every team has to bat their best player second is idiotic. It's idiotic. Show me the evidence that this works. How do the Yankees win with batting Babe Ruth third? I mean, because the analytics would say that he should be hitting second. I mean, it's so stupid. I mean, you used to have a very tried and true formula for 150 years. Your first hitter and your second hitter were guys who got on base the most, and your third and fourth hitter were your 2 best other hitters, guys that could hit and drive in runs, and there's a reason for that. If your first 2 hitters are guys that see a lot of pitches and work counts and get on base, that makes life harder on the starting pitcher. Now, they just put guys in there because they're the best hitter, supposedly. But then where are the guys behind them if they do get on base to drive in runs? I mean, the whole thing is stupid. Again, there was a formula that worked for 150 years for a reason. And then somebody decided one day, I think it was Joe Madden with Mike Trout and the Angels. They were the first ones to do it. I'm sorry, how many championships did the Angels win? With Mike Trout batting second? Yeah. How many times they make the playoffs? And I understand it's baseball and one guy, can't move. It's not moving the needle as much, but still. Just show me the evidence that it works. It doesn't. It's idiotic. I'm sorry. I can't. I mean, it may work for some teams, but to apply this universally, I mean, like for instance, I think it's ridiculous that the Phillies bat Kyle Schwarber second. I mean, how is that guy not your cleanup hitter? He hits 50 home runs. What are you doing?
At least it's not Alec Boehm.
Well, yeah.
Alec Boehm is the worst hitting player in the National League. His stat line is, he's beyond playable, and we can't trade him. I could get into random Phillies things like Aiden Miller, our third base prospect, top 10 prospect in all of baseball, is dealing with back problems, so he hasn't done anything useful all season. And then that questions, how good of a prospect is he? Your whole idea.
Boehm and Stott have killed you. Both those guys have been bad this year.
Stott is not. He had his rookie year kind of over delivered on expectations, and then I think everything else. Great fielder, but the bat has never really come around as well as it did in his second season. And he's kind of I think pitchers just have a number on him and know what to do for the most part, as long as you hit your spots.
So anyway, yes, the Mets. I mean, if they get to 500, then maybe I'll have some hope, right? They got to get to 500 first. Get to 500, and then we'll talk. And by the way, Mets, and I know this is a very get off my lawn take, knock it off with the stupid contrived home run celebrations with the hard hat and the vest. Okay, you haven't earned the right to do that. Okay, I don't want to see Juan Soto when he hits one of his meaningless solo home runs putting a stupid hard hat and a vest on in the Mets dugout. How about you guys focus on what matters, which is trying to win
You know
a
who
goddamn
gave him
baseball
that?
game?
You know who gave him all all that? Those Mets didn't come up with that idea themselves. It's
Where did it come
their
from?
compadres across town wearing orange and blue as well. The Knicks, how they had the hard hat and like the Timbs.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
where they got
Yeah.
that. Going back,
Yeah.
all right. Here's an offer. Going back to the Knicks and to wrap up because
Okay,
I have
yeah. Good.
we have a bet for a steak dinner.
Yes, we do.
We can either go out for that steak dinner, which I'm totally on board with, or
Yeah.
I can get us like thick Wagyu steaks, grill them here, get some really fine wine, and maybe we do a show while eating that dinner.
Ooh.
Again, the Knicks have to win.
Yeah.
Something to
Right,
consider.
exactly.
Something to consider.
Okay.
I think
I will table that and I will get back to you. And I will see you tomorrow in the morning, right? You're playing what time?
I'm
8:30?
playing at 8:30.
And I'm playing at 9. So I'll see you after for a cocktail or two.
Hopefully, as long as my
Okay.
wife's not trying to already. The funny thing is, I have agreed to golf tomorrow, probably 4 days ago, and probably told
Yeah.
Leticia about an hour ago.
Okay. Well, that's kind of on
It was
you.
very much I just was waiting for the right opportune time, and she's like, "No, you should totally do that on Mother's Day weekend." I was like, "Oh, come on."
Oh, come on. It's Saturday. By the way,
She's just-
there's no such thing as Mother's Day
Oh, it's
weekend.
Mother's Day.
Okay, there's Mother's Day. It's one day. It's Sunday. Period. End of
I don't
discussion.
ask for Father's Day weekend. I don't even know if I
Exactly.
get Father's Day. No. All right, buddy. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right,
When you're
my
having
man.
fun today. Hit him well.
Talk to you soon. You too,
Bye.
bub.